Good evening, Jumper Jack 88. Hi to you all too. He's a first-time viewer in the chat here, guys.
Hey. Hand.
Welcome back, everybody. Like, you guys have been missing. It was like we had to talk about comparing football players to food last week because it was like, how do I make a football show work with Sammy?
Which one was the chimichanga?
Damn, we never gave anyone the chimichanga. Victor Cruz. I don't think Victor Cruz plays anymore.
The chimichanga coaches now.
Ron Rivera is the chimichanga. But yeah, you guys been missing. You see, I mean, outside of what we're gonna review,
I feel like I haven't done the show with JJ in years. I don't know. I was like, we've been studio misses for the last like 4 weeks, dude.
There's
I should probably start watching football.
There's like an episode of the Teen Titans where half of them are missing. Like Moss and Meadows are broke up, and it's like, who do we got? It's like we got Jinx and Moss.
Yeah, they were in the barrel. Like when Titans East are gone, I'm like, nigga, what y'all got left?
And that's what we got here today. It's like, all right, who's left? But we got our lovely Sonic drinks.
I want to try one, Marco.
You can try one.
Which one? Which one's better?
Or
not terrible?
I mean, if you ask Sam, I think pineapple is better. I think that was universally the worst one. Is
Coconut?
Coconut.
Okay. So you'll get my on-air opinions of hard seltzer, orange pineapple Sonic drink.
Dude, I just got hit for an ad for a seltzer festival, and I was kind of like, I want to go, but this is a terrible idea. Because once you have, there's just good or bad seltzer. Like, it's
right.
They all taste kind of the same.
At this point, I'm like, look, I'm going to get bloated no matter what. Might as well enjoy it, right? So, that's not bad.
Sounds good.
It's not too terrible.
I got the other box last time, so I haven't tried the tropical ones or whatever this one is.
I got these at a gas station, so I probably need to go to wherever you're going.
I mean, it's not
I went to
great.
H-E-B.
You went to H-E-B?
Yeah, they had like the standard limeade pack and a tropical one. And I just went for like cherry limeade, my savior.
How was the cherry limeade one?
The cherry limeade was like top tier.
I mean, because this is cherry limeade right here. So, if you didn't know, I don't know who doesn't like Sonic to some degree. They're kind of inoffensive.
The ice is the best thing. Like, it was one of my top 5 fast foods.
Oh yeah, Sonic Ice is.
All right,
The Pebble Ice.
Marco, do you want the rest?
No, I've got a whole one over here.
I was like,
Are you done?
no, I
Just mix it with your normal Sonic Black.
No, I was waterfalling because I didn't want to take. You only brought so many, so I was like, I didn't want to take it.
No, I'm not gonna be. I'm not here to get drunk. That's Saturday. But yeah, I mean, this is our first review show. Our first review show without Tommy ever.
Yeah, the name's in the fucking title. Hey, look, not to call out a person, but someone decided that a shitty-ass reboot to prioritize that over our shows today. No, I'm kidding. Just giving him shit. He also got slammed by work, so totally understand. But more so...
This was.
Did anyone else do a double take when you saw the rationale? I said, really? Out of all the shows you could have watched, why is this one the one?
I didn't even know it existed.
I didn't even know it. That was my thing. That was my first question. Because it's on Peacock. I was like, how did you already have the one up on Peacock? That's your first mistake. And the second one, I was like, when did this thing? It's been live since 2020. It isn't just new. Like, this is season 2. I'm like, there was a first season no one talked about?
Wait, Saved by the Bell is on season 2?
Yes, it's on season 2. This is season dose.
Why?
Apparently there's some good shit or something. I need to watch it, all right? But it was so funny because I was like...
I feel like a lot of bad shows get a season 2 for some reason.
I want there now to be like a Cobra Kai and Bayside crossover where...
That's where they're headed.
Where the kids wreck that high school now.
Cobra Kai season 4 coming this month. Didn't even know that till today.
Zach comes in.
Is Zach even in the new reboot?
Yeah, you're asking the right. Ask the person who's not here, dude. If he is, let me think. I read the Wikipedia page for a little bit. I think he's a mayor or some shit.
He's a mayor.
Yeah, fucking
He's a corrupt politician.
dude. I think he's a mayor or some shit. AKA meaning that them Cobra Kai kids could whoop his ass. The entire time I've ever watched Saved by the Bell, I'm like, just punch this dude. Like,
But he has the power of the Zach Morris timeout.
I don't give a fuck.
That means right before you
has
get
the
hit.
world.
Yeah, he has, how the fuck he has the world? I'm good. Knock this dude out. He's a jackass.
He was literally Dio with the blonde hair and everything.
Speaking of which, JoJo Part
JoJo,
6
yeah.
on Netflix. Have you finished it yet?
I haven't watched it yet. I was
Maybe we
cramming
should
in
be
as much Arcane and Bebop as I could.
I was about to say, maybe we should be reviewing that instead.
I'll tell you right now, I watched all 6 episodes, honestly, last night into today, during work.
I was squishing Arcane for this, but yeah.
Oh, no. I'll back pocket that one because we could talk about that at any time. But, man, you know that, how not describe it? It's like a warm hug from an old friend. Like, that's what it felt like. It was like JoJo came in, said, hey, you want that cray-cray shit? Shh, baby, I got you. And just gave me a nice little kiss on my cheek. It was like, oh, we got 12 episodes of goodness.
What's that? You finished Shaman King? That was me.
Yeah. It's like, they didn't mean to hurt you. No, it was, don't worry, you'll like it. As with any, because, you've read Part 6, right? Or do you know anything about, have you read Part 6?
I know the highlights, but, like, I don't know the overarching story.
Dude, you're in for a treat. After, I think this is, I don't want to give any spoilers to what I think about, because I do genuinely want to cover this. But I think a lot of people, I know you've heard it, like Part 6 is not a highlight for them. It's usually in the mid to low range.
Yeah, I've heard that people really, really like Giorno. Like, Giorno seems to be one of the heavier hitters, in which I like. The last season, I like Part 5.
Oh, yeah. I like Jordan a lot.
But he seems to be one of the upper tier ones. And then
Have you seen Lean Beef Patty's cosplay of JoJo from season 6?
No. Oh, she's fitting the novel. I think that Jorno gets a lot of Jolene was interesting because I went through Part 6 and I don't think I disliked it as much as some people did, but I didn't love it. But then I've just realized that what the anime does for JoJo is so much.
Yeah.
Like, it does it, like, because Part 6 for me right now, I'm like, this is awesome. This is but also I've been, JoJo fucking neglected for how long? I don't know. So it might be that. But so far, so great. You'll get all your goodness. I'm talking, I think they rip off the Band-Aid pretty quick. They're just like, I think by episode 2, I'm like, okay, I'm seeing all the they're not afraid to kill people. They just let people die. That's the best part about JoJo. If don't get attached to nothing. No side character.
Not even
dogs.
Not even
Damn.
dogs. Oh, animals? Not your friend. That
Was it Pet Shop? I haven't seen JoJo. So
Pet Shop was, that was the Falcon. That was Dio's Falcon.
Oh. What's the name of the dog? Little
Iggy.
Not even kidding you. There's one
Did
episode.
Iggy die?
Yeah.
He went out like a soldier.
Went out kind of like an MVP. But no, there was one episode where, spoiler alert, there's part where just everybody dies except for the 2 main characters. I was like, that are there. I was like, trust me, you know real quick, so this is not a really big spoiler. But yeah, it's like, you're like, okay, I know where I'm at again.
It's good to be home.
And I've already had like, Rocky moments where I'm just like, ooh, I think we're not even in 3D. We're like at like 1D compared to this dude. This man's thinking in 3033. He's on some other shit. How his creativity lies. So I was snoring that good old JoJo shit.
Well, I'm gonna hit the intro now.
Go ahead.
Yeah.
Good evening. Welcome to the McGrewless reviews here today. My name is Marco. I'll be your host here today. Across from me, we have
DJ, who's sorry, I was mid burp. I just chugged that.
All right.
Some of that seltzer.
Pass the ball over. JJ.
When I'm JJ. When I'm not joking. No, I'm good now.
Yeah, we're doing our first. I think the last time we did a review was October, maybe.
We try not to force
No,
reviews.
but they did Shang-Chi. That was the last one.
Was it? No, Eternals was.
Eternal. I'm sorry. I got those confused.
I mean, I didn't even know that was a show. Like, that one happened secretly.
I think they just did it
right after. Yeah, right after, which is fine. I was just like I was laughing. I was like, y'all reviewed Eternal? Dog, I still haven't seen it yet.
I was asleep. Shit.
I'm still waiting for it to come out on Disney Plus next month.
I think that's the toughest part for me.
Yeah, I think I'm just gonna write it out.
I think that's what happened with Shang-Chi, where I was like, yeah, I'm for sure gonna see it. Then I was like, Omarion's out there. I don't want to risk it. I'm good. I'll go watch Eternals when it gets out here on January. It's not Spider-Man. Shit, I don't give a fuck.
Dude, I just realized the positives about the new COVID strain. Movies come straight through the streaming service now. We don't have to go
Again?
out.
Man. But I just pre-ordered my ticket and my booze.
For which? For Spider-Man?
Yeah.
I don't think Omicron will get here by then.
Yeah, Megatron's still fire.
So we have all gathered here today. We brought our, I think, the nerdiest.
We have come here together today.
Well, out of all of the Mexcellence crew, we're probably the nerdiest of it. I mean, two of us are wearing glasses right now. But yeah, to discuss an anime and a Dota adaptation.
Lol.
Stop it. I know you're doing it on purpose now.
I'm doing it on purpose now, yes. Yo, all, dearly beloved, we're gathered here to celebrate this thing called life, Frisco Flame.
Life. Sure. That's a waste of my...
Life action.
Yeah, I was about to say there's a lot of death in one and not a lot of life in the other one.
Yeah, if you consider a coked out life on the streets in one, that's basically it.
Well, I guess we're going to go ahead and kick this off with Cowboy Bebop here real quick. For the uninitiated, Cowboy Bebop is an anime set in the year 2171, and then the series just focuses on a bunch of bounty hunters as they try to get their man. I don't know why I'm describing the synopsis to it, because I feel like everyone's seen it.
You'd be surprised. The person in the next room over has not seen it.
Has he really not? Mm-mm. It was on Adult Swim for 15 years.
It's still on. I'm fairly sure.
No, it was. At least the last time I was on.
It's probably the Netflix deal.
Yeah.
But they held on to that forever. Like,
It was a while. I mean, it's a masterpiece. I mean, everybody knows that. Like, it's solid. And I actually watched it later on in life. Like, I watched it a couple years ago.
There was an episode I was missed that I just watched when COVID first hit. I was like, time to finally get around to it.
Which one?
Cowboy Funk?
I think it was. Was Cowboy Funk the one with the other cowboy?
Yeah.
No, I saw that one.
Was it the fucked up clown one?
No. You cannot miss that one.
No.
That one's dope.
Yes, it is on Netflix too. Dosco, Donbor. But yes, I think I missed the food one because I would fall asleep because it was on late and then nothing really happens for a little bit. Like, it's too trippy for action. Yeah.
I feel that.
I think that was the one. There was another one that I always miss. The second part, who I didn't even know actually makes an appearance in the live action, the trans character. I don't know what their name is.
Oh, Jupiter Jazz?
Jupiter Jazz. I missed one of the
episodes.
Jupiter Jazzes.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, hey, it happens. It all kind of, I mean.
I think there were 3 episodes that didn't air in the first Adult Swim run.
So that might have been the case, too.
It might have been that, because I know Cowboy Funk was one of them. That, it didn't air in that first running, and I was like, the fuck?
That's one of the episodes I'm looking forward to being adapted the most, because it was like, this is easy. You really...
They already messed it up.
Yeah.
Because Teddy Bomber was the bounty that they were after in that episode. So I was half expecting Andy
Oh,
to
you're
show
right.
up.
Fuck. They can make up someone else.
They can.
No, I don't want that. It's not what I want.
Pretty sure this already has season 2 written all over
Oh,
it.
of course. I mean, I haven't even finished it, and I was like, I smell season 2. But just to put a little bit more outline here. So, the original came out 20 years ago, and then they decided to make a live action adaptation.
Me, or is the audio kind of low?
Oh. It might be that I'm so far from the mic.
It might be that I'm
raised it.
far
Let me
from
know
the
if you
mic.
can hear us
There we
now.
go.
Are we peaking?
No, we're not peaking. We're hitting yellow right now.
Perfect. That's good enough.
Let me just.
Sweet babies.
Swoopity pop 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 bitty.
We didn't do an audio test. Oh well, that's on him.
We'll be fine.
No, I think they
It's not like podcasting's an audio medium or anything.
it's not like them not hearing us, equates to less money. But now, I think that so they decided to make a live action adaptation like they keep on doing with anime, and now you have a ragtag group of bounty hunters going across space in this Western sci-fi mix of magical proportions. Not magical, technological proportions.
Is there any magic in Cowboy Bebop? I feel like they got rid of the Native American
Yes,
guy.
Feng Shui.
Oh, that's right. The birds. All right, yeah, you're right. Sorry.
But
Birds not here.
Marco, how do you want to start this off, man?
So we kind of already dabbled our feet a little bit. It's just first thoughts. Like, what was your first thoughts? I mean, I thought, I don't know why I had a lot of hope. I mean, they put a lot of money into it. I don't know where. They put work into the cast. I actually thought the cast was really well put together based on the images that they first released. And then I was like, all right, the ball's in your court. You just need to do the bare minimum of either following the plot or just not straying too far. And was excited for it. When I watched it, it took like half of the first episode not to notice that... Sounds better, thanks. All right, cool. Half of the first episode to notice that, all right, this is different. This is not like... I don't know, what's a faithful adaptation? Like Watchmen, maybe? That you can watch,
Zack
like
Snyder's Watchmen.
Yeah, like I meant like screen outside of the squid. Like it looks like the comic pages.
Pretty much, yeah.
I was like, this isn't that. This is closer to Preacher, in the sense that it's like, this is Spike, but he's not like the Spike this is our TV Spike. This is Jet, but he's not like the Jet exactly. Well, Jet's probably the most faithful.
Jet, they knocked it out of the park with Jet. Like, both the actor and the writing was spot on for Jet.
So, maybe I should just rip off my Band-Aid since I'm the lightest one. Y'all guys have gone through the full one.
Yeah.
So I only watched an episode of half of it because that's all I had the time for because JoJo came out. And I already committed to one of these shows. But
Jet was a bit more jacked. I mean, he wears a jacket, so
he's to be fair, like I went in with very low expectations. I didn't want.
You saw one of the best episodes too.
I could tell. Because to be honest, the entire time I was through the first one, I was just like, hey, I'm not getting that disgusting, icky feeling in my stomach that I was thinking I was going to get. Is it spot on the money, everything that they're supposed to do? No. But there was like a moment where where Spike is talking to Jet, and they just laugh, and I'm like, oh, well, damn, I actually, like, that chemistry is pretty good. And the beats are hitting, and things are going, and I'm like, okay, it's going to be different. But, I've been trying to go, like, because I was one of the people who was coming in like, I don't really need this. I don't want this. I don't care about it. But then again, I'm also trying to be better about, oh my God. I'm trying to be better about just accepting the fact that it's like, yo, I have the regular, good old primo, that good shit on the ready. I can rewatch whenever I want to. Let me give this one an open and honest chance.
Literally suggested to you like immediately after.
Yeah, like it's right there. And so, for me personally, I left that first episode feeling okay, and I wasn't too upset with how they were handling things, with the exception of Faye, who I did not like right off the gate.
Faye is an acquired taste. I'll give you that. But I'm actually surprised that that's the thing that rubbed you wrong in the first episode.
It was one of the things where I was like, Faye is brash, but she's kind of like for at least that's the start. She's more of a slick, like, I'm a Kanya. I'm gonna mess around with your brain a little more. Like, she's not all cussing and being loud. It's not her thing. Like, is that a part of it? Yeah. Like, and I'm all for it. That's not shit. Let a woman be crass. I don't care. Well, that's kind of all I got out of her at the start.
Yeah,
and
she gets better.
I hope so.
Later on.
So, because I was like, she's one of the ones who has a lot of depth, especially when you get to more of her face of this episode. But yeah, outside of that, I think it didn't look. So it's weird because I don't think the visuals looked cheap. I think the choreography was a little like, there's sometimes where I was like.
So that was actually one of the next part that I was going to talk about, but we haven't let JJ give his first thoughts. But one of the worst things for me is the choreography. It is the no, I'm not going to say that because I'll wait for the other one. He doesn't fight like the way that if you're going to be true, I don't care about it's different. I care that it's just kind of true to the character. That's not the way that Spike fights. It's not very like. Or even in general, I don't even care about that. Like, it was very old school Jet Li type fighting.
He's smooth.
Block punch. Like, it's like, that's not what you're supposed to get. You're supposed to get a lot more dodges and a lot more kicks, kind of, in a way.
I mean, one of the best. So, the characterization of Spike, I was like, to be honest, I was really surprised at that. Once I saw him moving and talking and smiling and all, I was like, oh, that's fine. Like, I think you're doing. I agree that I think Jet's the best portrayal because I think that he's like the one who I was like, that is the character, and they just made him black, and I'm okay with that. But with Spike, he's smooth moving in his combat style, right? I have like the. It's burnt into my head, and I think it's from the movie, which I actually haven't watched all the way. But like where he breaks or he's fighting with a broomstick.
Yeah,
and it's like he's just
from the movie.
Yeah, he's completely smooth with it in all of his movements, and it's one thing that's super hard to capture in live action, but it's something that's super important to his character because like that's what makes him how he is. He's like a assassin type of person, not a martial arts. He has martial arts in his kit, but you know what I'm saying. But my bad. I don't want to dominate the conversation. JJ, how are you doing?
I was also sort of in your camp where I didn't want this. Like when it was first announced and they were saying Keanu Reeves is going to be Spike. I was like, oh no.
Fuck no.
Oh no.
See, I'd been following this project way back when Leonardo DiCaprio wanted to be Spike.
Yeah,
and he's like, worse. I'll pay for it.
Sorry, Spike's Asian.
But as time went on and then it got announced and I saw cast pictures, I was like, all right, it's not my lowest expectation. So there's some hope. And then when me and my brother watched the first episode, I was like, people had already started like reviewing it on the internet and just like kind of hate bombing it, which, is fair. If they didn't like it, they didn't like it. But I went into it with that like expectation, and then when I saw it, I was like, "This really isn't as bad as people are making."
No,
it
that was dude. I was like, people were like, my eyes are gonna melt out of your sockets when you watch that first episode. I was like, this is fine, like, tongue in cheek.
And that's kind of where I'm at with it. There's a lot of stuff that I don't like, but at the same time, there's stuff that I do like that they do in this adaptation rather than in the anime, or that, well, I wouldn't say that the live action does anything necessarily better than the anime, but when it does hit a strong note, it hits it well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. No, that is 100%. I guess we'll go into the positives in it for a little bit. Mm-hmm. We already talked about how Jack is Jet is a really good character. So this part is meant to be like, so what's your favorite scene or what was your favorite part? I don't think you're actually going to be able to do this because you saw an episode and a half.
I could give you my favorite part.
But out of all the things, so once I accepted, this is different. You just need to see it for what it was. I actually really dug out of all the episodes. How many did you get? 9 or 10? I think
10.
It's 9.
10.
Oh, it's 10.
It's 10.
Okay. A couple at the end, or the end is really bad. Like we'll get to that. But the episode with the tree people, like the eco terrorist, is actually the best part. Like they changed it a lot so that it doesn't follow the Cowboy Bebop plot.
Yeah, because they changed them into monkeys.
Yeah. Here they change them into trees. And you see it, by the way.
Yeah. A lot of the budget went there.
Oh, I can tell. Okay.
But yeah, that episode is one of the best. I love that episode. It's when they hit the magnum opus of, all right, we are following the Cowboy Bebop themes, but we made it our own thing. And a lot of the other episodes didn't do that. They have the episode with Ein, which is like, oh, you didn't actually follow anything about.
Yeah, that one completely went off the.
And but yeah, that
I'm trying to get y'all's opinion. Like y'all feel hurt by that one. Oh my gosh.
because
That one also has like another. So, going back to like the choreography and the fighting, and how Spike in the live action doesn't fight like Spike in the show. There's really, in the live action, there's really not a lot of hand to hand combat. They do more gunplay. Yeah.
You know how everything is lovable in that episode? Like the old lady is like, no, 2 Wulong. That's all you get for this dog. All that is like ripped out, and you don't get any. The tree episode gives you something to replace it with, where it's like, oh, I'm still interested because of this and this. That one, they rip everything out, and they don't actually give you anything in return because they just want you to focus on the dog.
Well, they do, but it's not from the anime. What they add to replace the sort of funny stuff in that episode, in the Ein episode, is the stuff with Jet's daughter.
Does anybody want the nickname Milk Judge? Milk Judge.
Milk Judge.
So are any of the hosts in this room named Milk Judge?
Stop the show for that. Keep it moving.
Yeah, it's one of the things that they added to it. Like, Jet does mention a family in the anime a handful of times, but you never actually see any of them. And in the live action, they give him like a young daughter, and he's divorced, and his best friend, he's Spawn. Oh my god, he's fucking Spawn. So yeah, in the Ein episode, where they take away like the funny stuff with the old lady, like 2 Wulong is all you get, they add a subplot of Jet trying to get a birthday present for his young daughter.
They do that.
She really wants a Turbo Man doll.
I forgot that they kind of make Jet. They make Jet a dad, and it actually works. Like it's one of the best parts.
It works. That's one of the parts that hits hard, where they changed it, and it's a strong note. Like it's a change that I would say not necessarily for the better, but it's a great.
It's a good. It adds to his character. Yeah.
There's a scene in this. Somewhat later, I actually don't remember, it blurs a little bit, where he like video chats to see his daughter do like a recital, and he's there dancing with her.
Aww.
It's really sweet, but in the background you can see Spike getting his ass kicked. Like it's a really good scene.
I think that's actually my favorite scene.
Well, I mean, you guys, the positives are hopeful in painting that there's some, highlights here. And I mean, coming off that first episode, I felt like there was that. I mean, I didn't stall when going into the, second episode. I just saw the bomber, and I was like, and then I was like, But I liked one. Oh, I will say my favorite thing thus far was honestly, and I don't know it's something that they kept from the original. And it was actually like just seeing it and how they played into it. I was like, that's exactly how they did it in the show. Was the little bounty hunter commercials.
Oh yeah.
And I was like, that combination of characters. Even though I just saw one, I was like, all right, you know what? Like, I think it was like coming off that first episode, going into that, I was like, I'm getting my bebopness that I like out of this, because generally in the show it was just like that, where they're fucking like making mistakes on the on the set, where like one of them would get mad whenever the other was saying their line or like trying to cross over them. Then they were super hokey. So that was enjoyable for me, because to me it opened up the door of like, I like that.
No, I could see that. That's a good part. Now we're going to talk about the bad parts real quick. because we've already mentioned so much of them, so no need to beat this horse any more than any other reviewer has already done. But just gonna make a specific thing and say that I hate Vicious and Julia a lot.
Yeah.
You didn't really get to see much of it in episode 1.5, but
I saw that white wig. I saw all.
It gets worse.
I saw all I need. I'm away from me. But go ahead.
it gets to a point where somewhere in the middle episodes, I just fast forward it. Like if they're on screen, it's like I don't really care because we as a Cowboy Bebop fan, you know what happens. Vicious takes over the syndicate. If you are watching it, that's all that happens. But they're doing it in a really whiny way, like that. I don't know. This is my weird opinion. I think Vicious works better if he's Japanese or just something. Because when he has a white wig and is talking in a British accent, I'm like, that's just Malfoy. Like he's not really intimidating to me right now. I mean, I don't, and then in general, I don't know if anyone can be intimidating with white hair if they want to be truthful to the adaptation, besides maybe a Japanese dude. Like maybe, I don't know. Obviously, a black dude can be intimidating, but I don't think they would. No.
Also, no. That's a trap. That's a
It
trap.
happens in the other thing we're going to review.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Something happens.
He hasn't seen that episode, but no. Okay, so so I'm casually like, this is fine. This is great. I'm like, man, y'all hating on this shit for no goddamn reason. Look, it's not the same. Do I ever think it's hard to replicate a masterpiece just straight up, but I can still get something enjoyable out of it. And then I saw this white room, and then I saw this white hair, and I'm like, oh God. I was like, Vicious is so like it's hard to pull him off the first time they did it. And over the top, like very not even over the top, he's sly with it, right? But you get what I mean.
Oh, you go first.
Here's where they really messed up with Vicious in the adaptation in the live action, is that Vicious, the character, and the way the writers handled him was very subtle. Vicious doesn't speak a lot. And he also doesn't show up in very many episodes. Like, they're very subtle in the anime on how they use Vicious, and when he does speak, like, it carries some weight to it. Here, I guess to fill time or to give more of a backstory to all of these characters, because that's, again, one of the anime's, like, stronger points, is that there's a mystery to everyone. You don't really get much backstory. And here in the live action, they kind of want to explain it. So they take away some of that mystery and some of Vicious's edge because of that. And because they want to dedicate more time to him, they kind of have to give him more lines, because otherwise he's just going to be brooding and saying, "You're a ravenous beast" all the time.
I mean,
I think it's better if he is in the back. Like
no, he's a background. He's that type of villain who benefits from, like you're saying, less is more, right? It's this threat that you don't quite understand. You know that's in relation to Spike, but you're like, why do they, like, how did it get to this point? And that's a lot of the carrying weight there, right? You know that him and Spike are on the same tier of threat, but, like, you know, one kind of hung up his hat a little bit more and the other ones just kept it going. But that relationship and that dynamic plays off the fact, like you're saying, there's a lot of mystery aligned with it, right? I think even a character who has a lot on this, like, not on the surface level, but in terms of, like, their personality, like Jet, right? Even he had some mysterious ties to him with how his interactions with the police and things of that nature, right? Like, what happened there.
That might be one of the biggest difference in tone that made Vicious really hard, is that Cowboy Bebop is at its heart a noir. So not even Faye gets that many lines. Like, they talk about her being loud and rude, but she just kind of sits there stealing their food most of the time. She doesn't do that much. Same is true with Vicious. He's just there in the background. So everything is more implied, and they went the other way. They're like, we're not going to be subtle. We're going to be more in your face action. And if they want to do that, I mean, and you want to make Vicious eccentric, I mean, this is a weird comparison to make, but make him like the bad guy from Gamer. Like, that worked.
I've never watched Gamer.
Well,
Dexter?
it's Dexter, but he's playing this really like eccentric bad guy, and he just goes with it.
Yeah, Vicious in the live action kind of comes off like a cartoony villain.
I got that. Is it sad to say I got that from the first episode? Like I was like,
It gets worse, and then when he becomes the main plot in the last 3 episodes, you're like, well, I don't really need to see this anymore. Like, I don't know. I was really tuned out by the time we get to what is supposedly my favorite episode, or most people's favorite episode, which is the Ballad of Fallen Angels. Like, they're going through the same lines as they do in the anime, and then it's still very much like, yeah, you're not hitting the same gravitas at all.
Yeah.
It's cool when Faye shows up. That's about it.
I guess. I don't know. Do they do Ein okay?
No.
They change them. Yeah, no, they don't.
Oh, great. So 2 out of you said 1 gets better, so I'm gonna give some credits. But right now, I'm going in with 2 out of the 4 are okay. 3 out of the 5. Let me rephrase that.
My advice would honestly be to stop watching the LeFou episode where you think it'll be cool. Like, right when the opening credits, it's like, oh, you meet LeFou, and then you just stop. Just stop there.
Wait, time out. There's only 10 episodes. How'd they get there?
How do they get where?
To LeFou.
They changed LeFou's backstory as well.
No, not. I mean, not by a lot.
He wasn't in a cage, like, hired by Vicious in the other one.
But he was also like in, if I'm not mistaken, am I tripping? Like he was later on in the show.
Yeah, he was like episode 22.
Yeah, he was way deep.
Well, they're not. I mean,
But yeah, no, this one's jumping around in the timeline a whole lot. Like,
they're
Why?
not. They're not episodic. I mean, Cowboy Bebop itself isn't itself made to be episodic. Where the episode, like the one that I'm waiting for, Sympathy for the Devil, it doesn't matter whether it's season 1 or season 4. It doesn't matter where it falls in. It's one story.
A lot of them are Monster of the Week. So
I mean,
going back to like my point with Vicious in the anime kind of plays off like the cigarette smoking man in the X-Files, where the cigarette smoking man doesn't show up a whole lot, but he signals that this is the overarching plot of the show. This is the main plot. And Vicious is very much the same way. Every other episode in between is just like, all right, this is the bounty we're going after today. And it doesn't really, like, you can take that episode out of order and it doesn't really matter.
but I mean, so my only qualm here and why I'm a little confused is because like the way you get the timeline or how you get things through are like, cool, every 4 episodes you get a Vicious thing, lightly syndicate thing, and you're like, cool, that's still there. Things are happening. Keep going, right? So there was a general, like, while things can be shifted and changed, right? Like, there is, like, a direction that it's going. It just doesn't have to be in the forefront all the time. So if they're jumping all across the place, I guess it just kind of confuses me. I mean, that's fine. Like I said, it's not going to harm it.
Yeah.
But I'm just like, why? that's more so just the why.
I honestly think they just really wanted to do that episode. Like, that's probably what sold the show. Like, we're going to do this shit.
What's up, Kingpin Larry? He says hi, everyone in the chat. But, yeah, no, I think they were confident, but not very confident they're going to get a season 2. So they were like, let's do our favorite things. And they just did them. Like, the only thing that they didn't do that are fan favorite episodes are Waltz for Venus and the Cowboy. Like, I think those are the only.
Funk.
Yeah.
Okay.
My favorite is Sympathy for the Devil, so I'm still hoping we get that. But I don't know if they thought that
the lobster.
No, the kid that's not a kid.
Oh yeah. Oh, Toys in the Attic. Yeah, Toys in the Attic.
I don't know if we're gonna get that one though because it's probably like, oh, that's too hard to explain. Like, I don't know.
So okay, I mean, I think our opinions are out there. So what's the ranking? What do we do here? How do we close out?
Rating, still the same thing. We're gonna give it a rating. My rating is stop at episode 8. Actually, stop at episode 8 when you meet LeFou. Like, because you meet LeFou in the pre-scene. Stop there, and then just imagine.
And then watch episode 22.
The actual shit.
Like, just imagine it, and stop there. Accept that it's different, and then it's a 7 out of 10. Like that's the best you can do.
What the hell would you give it with those last two?
Oh, also fast forward everything. Oh, dude, if we can get into it real quick after this, but yeah, if also fast forward all the scenes with Julia and Vicious, and it's a 7 out of 10.
Then what would it be with the? You didn't answer my question.
We'll do a real quick spoiler thing because we're actually super ahead of schedule right now. But yeah, JJ rating.
I'm of two minds on this one because this did something that the anime didn't do for me.
Oh.
And it's a very me thing, probably. But but I was watching this while I was visiting my family back home in Eagle Pass.
Mm-hmm.
So me and my brother were just like streaming it in the big screen in the living room. And it did something that nothing else that I watched like on my own time, like back when I was home, ever really did. And that was that it got my parents to stop and pay attention to what I was watching.
Sam actually was talking about that he's going to wait to watch the Cowboy Bebop show with his dad because he thinks he'll love it.
Yeah, to his credit, like probably. I feel like that's who this was made for, like air quotes. My parents really are like closed-minded in the sense that animation's for kids.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter like what it is. I can get my mom to watch a Pixar movie, but it's a hard sell. And my dad's just like, fuck no.
Yeah, my parents laugh at like things like Parasite. Like they would just be like, it's still animated.
I was watching all of Dressrosa while I was home. One Piece, we were talking about it earlier. I was watching all of that like in the morning while my brother was at work. My parents didn't stop for shit. They just kept on doing their thing and whatnot. Never stopped and asked me like, who's that kid? Why is he rubber? Like, but me and my brother watched Bebop, and like my dad sat down. He didn't ask any questions, but he was paying attention. He was like, okay. So that kind of notches it up for me a little bit in overall. The last episodes are the weakest. I agree. But just for that little like family moment of mine, I would also give it a 7.
I liked the first episode enough to give it like an 8.5. I'm pretty sure that I'm probably going to be harder than both of y'all by the time I'm.
Oh no, yeah, no.
Like I said, I'm pretty sure I'm probably going to be the hardest one in the room on this one. But I agree with you, JJ. Like, you have two people who are animation's a tougher sell for them on our cast, straight up, right? One said it before he even started watching the show, or started watching our next review. I don't. It's something I struggle with my parents, except my dad's so my dad actually is fine with that. My mom is, I can barely get her to watch anything as it is. It's the gateway drug, right? Hopefully people are curious enough with this to where they go back and watch that good shit. And I've heard that.
Right, no, yeah. This is, not to step on your toes. I wouldn't ever recommend this show, the live action, over the anime. If you have watched the anime and you're curious about it, give it a shot. Your eyes aren't gonna melt. You're not gonna go to hell for watching live action Cowboy Bebop. But
you'll probably. Oh, and something we never talked about. I mean, of course, this is the one area if they fucked up, I would have been pissed off. Soundtrack's phenomenal.
Yeah,
soundtrack's excellent. Not a single. At least in the first, I was actually like.
I was naming songs.
I was like, this shit is money the entire way through.
No, you're not wrong there. That being said, what I'm going to do is I'm going to fade to black for 15 seconds. Just in case, this is for y'all. If you care about spoilers, I don't think you'd be here if you care. The show's been out on Netflix for, 2-3 weeks now?
Also, the regular show has been out for 20.
Yeah.
Well, no, the problem is the regular show is a very big left turn from that. But yeah, we're about to go there. So I'm going to go black for 10 seconds, then we're going to come back, and then spoilers for 5 minutes. Let's start with what you asked me. What is it with these other 2 episodes? It's a 3.
Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god.
So spoiler warning. We're going to spoil the end of Cowboy Bebop. Why? So Vicious and Julia are the whiniest characters in this thing because Julia is supposed to be this love that you don't even know is alive until like she runs into Faye. Faye is the one that is like, oh yeah, I met this cool chick.
So coming off that first episode, I hated that.
Yeah.
Because I was like, ooh, this is not something I'm supposed to know.
Exactly. Vicious is also supposed to be this brooding dude that is like, he's a badass, not a dude that's like, please don't kill my girlfriend. Like, he's not supposed to beg. Like, no matter what happens. There's literally a scene in the anime where they have him chained up and he's about to die and he's still like, that's cool. But they take all that away from these characters. They make them very generic American like bad guys. And so the big thing is, so you've seen Ballad of Fallen Angels. You've seen the gun versus the sword. Okay, that was a very badass scene. It ends with Spike throwing a grenade. This in the TV show, it ends with Julia shooting Vicious.
And then there's more.
Continue.
And then Julia is like, I'm going to take over the syndicate now.
That's not how it ended, right?
That is how it ended.
That's not how. That's not how episode 10 ended, right?
That is how episode 10 ended.
No. Okay, hold on. Guys, you got me. Funny joke. I know you guys planned this before I walked in. How this really end? How this shit really end?
That's how it ends. So to play devil's advocate for this change, because it's bad. I don't like it. I hate it.
Oh my god, you didn't. I feel.
I will say this in its defense. This
Go for it.
new, like, ruthless, I'm going to take over the syndicate Julia heel turn is slightly better than whiny Julia from episode 1. The problem is they didn't set her up that way throughout the show. So it comes out of nowhere.
She's like an opera singer 2 episodes before, and it's like, oh yeah, she just used to sing, and she's like kind of mousy about it.
I know they didn't just Mary Sue this shit. All right.
No, they don't Mary Sue her because she's
the Julia from the anime is kind of a Mary Sue. She was badass. Like, you don't see a lot of her, but she handles her shit.
Yeah, no, that's my bad.
She's been on the lam for like however long in between the syndicate and...
Yeah, she was like, I've changed, basically, right? That's the dumbest shit I've ever heard. But the whole thing is the bebop, like they're dynamic. That's the whole thing. How do they do oh no, how they're gonna end this? Oh no, I know how they're gonna try and do that with no, dude, I hate this. I hate this. I don't give a fuck. That's a 0 out of 10 now. Fuck this shit, bro. It's like. Vicious wasn't even my favorite character from the original show. I can't imagine what Vicious people be thinking right now. So someone killed themselves over this change. There's someone out there who has hung themselves. You, Netflix, killed people over a change. What the fuck y'all thinking, dude? Hold up. I'm not even overreacting. That's genuine, like...
How do you think we felt watching that change? Like,
bro, when it happened, I was half expecting for Ed to show up, and we're still in the episode where Spike's in the brain thing. Like, everything that happened in between the brain thing and this is all it's still the brain thing trying to take over Spike.
or maybe that was the opening.
They just had to call in Edward because, like, master hacker.
Or maybe this was like actually just a lead into the mushroom episode, and we just haven't known yet.
Someone looked at these characters and was like, no, Spike should end up with Faye. That's all. That's where this is headed. Which it would take away from one of the most powerful scenes in the thing, where Faye is like, "No, you need to be here. Come back," and she shoots her gun in the sky.
No, I mean, like, right before last episode, I just. I didn't like Vicious, but I didn't hate him like that. Like, enough to where you. Okay.
Vicious is chained in the basement at the end, and she's like, and Julia's like, "You're my bitch now," and she even like does everything up to the "I'm gonna punch you," and then he flinches.
Why? Why did you do this to me? I tried, JJ. I tried to have hope.
That's why I said stop that episode. Well, I'm not even getting into LeFou is flying with CW like technology. When you know how it looks all like evil and floaty in the anime where he's like woohoo,
yeah.
He has jet boosters on his feet and it's flying with like CW, like it looks like the Flash level kind of effects.
And they had but I thought everything it looked good. It looked good in the first episode. The first episode was good. It was not bad at all. The red eye thing, they nailed everything.
They legit ran out of money as they went forward.
Nah. Y'all just stop me. I'm gonna get to some tree people shit, and I'm like, I'm good. That's all I'm getting to. Damn, that sucks.
Here's another positive thing in my delusional brain when I saw this. Anyone remember Dragon Ball Evolution?
Yeah.
Okay. The only reason we have Super is because the creator saw Dragon Ball Evolution and he was like, this can't be it. So I'm hoping
he's out.
Watanabe is gonna watch this and be like, this can't be it.
Like, I think I can make
Roll up my sleeves. He was like, I think coming back.
I can make one more movie. There's one more adventure they have. Nah, dude. Oh, that's a. I'm not going. No, fuck it. That's a 2 out of 10 change type of shit. You can make her. You can make her a badass without the expense of making Vicious be a
not a
bitch.
badass at the end. She's still mousy. Also, they didn't build her up to be badass for this plot twist. It literally comes from nowhere, even in the context of only watching the show.
I'm done with this. No, conversation's done. I don't want to talk about this anymore. Including those, you gave it a 7, including those 2?
Yes, if I'm going to hurt, someone else has to.
That's very fair. Like, yeah, Mark, you've been like, this is a 10 out of 10. Go watch it.
We'll be right back after these ads. Hey kids, are you hairy everywhere?
This has already started off wonderful. Did your parents not teach you how to shave and you're lost at this stage of your life? Are you a grown man over the age of 25 still living in your mother's basement? A Smash player? All of these things apply to the product today.
We have the perfect tool for you here today. It's called Manscaped. You can use it as a Smash controller. You can use
don't.
it.
Raw.
Do it again because you started it early.
I was gonna do it in the middle. Why would I just drop it like that? And, whatever. This is what happens, kids, when you're getting notes in the middle of your set. But yes, yeah, go ahead and buy the Manscaped razors.
And the Lawnmower 4.0.
The Lawnmower 4.0.
4.0.
You can at least know what the fuck the product is.
Buy the Lawnmower 4.0 when you need to shave your arms, play Smash, or, I guess
It's also a light.
Oh, it's also a light in case when the powers go out here in Texas.
Right.
Next winter storm, we've got you.
Winter is coming, but I'll be ready.
Toss it this way. I got you. Oh my God. Jesus Christ. But Jokes aside, we have the Lawnmower 4.0. It is actually pretty awesome. I've had the opportunity to leverage it. I want to say the last few weeks while I was traveling. I don't grow a lot of facial hair. I'm not like these two lovable mugs over here, but I grow enough to where I do have to shave pretty consistently. And so far, I haven't had a single issue with it. I'm a huge fan of the ball toner. And that spray smells fan-fucking-tastic.
Newsflash, we don't have it here on us, but Manscaped has a cologne now, and our promo code works on it. If you just want to smell good, cologne.
They have a lot of other products as well, not only in reference to, razors and shaves. The bag is also incredible. They do have a toiletry bag.
The Shed.
The toiletry bag itself
Toiletry bag is called the Shed.
Yes, the Shed.
I know the name of the products.
You have a computer in front of you.
No, Sam fucked it up last time.
Oh, got you. That's not fair. But no, on the real though, like I have been able to try out almost everything except for I've been saving the underwear for my next switch of underwear, which is actually in December. I do try and cycle out underwear. Because it's very easy to just let...
By the way, you can use our Manscaped promo code to buy underwear.
And the anti-chafe underwear is apparently a fan favorite in this cast and crew.
Yeah.
It's... I've yet to hear anyone who hasn't liked it, and so you know me, I got the thickness in the lower half, and so I'm really excited to have the opportunity to leverage it. But if you want the opportunity to capitalize on a huge discount when it means 20% off, including free shipping, just go and check out Manscaped's website and make sure you use our promo code MEX20 and checkout. That gets you free shipping and 20% off, which is awesome for the holidays.
Say it one more time. Tell me what manscaped.com.
Go to manscaped.com. Use that MEX20. It directly supports us. And so even if you're not in the market for a razor for yourself, Christmas is around the corner. Get something for your family. Get something for us. That's perfectly fine. Get some underwear for your dirty ass balls. Just do something in order to make sure that you're in the Manscaped family too.
Your balls will thank you.
Thanks, guys. We'll come right back to our show right after just a little bit Mex merch ads. That's enough Mex merch ads. By the way, thank you, Kirby, for letting me know the Cowboys won. That makes it a great day for everyone here.
Hooray! Christmas will come.
Thank the Lord.
It was time.
We couldn't beat the Saints. I was giving up.
That would be like the exact moment you give up. It's
that would be episode 7 of Bebop.
Episode 8. Now to talk about that good shit.
Quick answer, Josh. No, it does not stack with the holiday sale. But if you use our code, I mean, it's the same discount.
It's the same discount, and it does directly help us out. So use it.
Well, Cowboy Bebop we knew was kind of going to be a wash because it was kind of we're kind of late to the show. Everyone's already done it, but I felt like we had to do it because it was such a big part of our lives once. Arcane is the next thing we're going to be reviewing. I'm not the biggest League of Legends player, so all this was new to me. But the good thing is you don't need to know shit about it. This show definitely paints the picture and takes you on a ride without knowing shit about it.
Now, I am a League of Legends player, and
did not know that until right now.
If you have mentioned this, but I will say that if you want to talk about how I went in with low expectations for Cowboy Bebop, I wanted no part of anything of any league, any show, and it's toxic. The community sucks. But the best part about League has always been lore. And so a corner part of me has been like, when they don't retcon it for unnecessary reasons, the lore is pretty great. The lore and TFT are all you really need from League of Legends, to be honest. But
Kirby's asking already, did you cry?
No, I'm cry. Shut up. Save the questions for the end. But no, I'm kidding. No, but on the reals though, like I wasn't I really wasn't expecting much. But I am a League of Legends fan. I still play TFT to this day, and I'll get an occasional game of League in. And let me tell you, after watching this show, I only wanted to play more League. But JJ, where are you coming from?
I knew nothing. And now watching it, I know even less. No, I know of League of Legends like secondhand. I've never actually played it, never been like into the fandom.
weeds.
Yeah. But I know several people, now you as well, that do play it and do talk about it. So I know like Jinx is the big character that everyone like cosplays.
Really?
At least in the sites that I
Jinx is a very popular character. So I can just to give you guys some preface before you go into your first impressions. And actually, JJ, you get to start off before we kind of do our thing since you watched Guts episode 6. So I'll tell you the characters that are in the game, just so you know. And
Are all the characters not in the game?
not all of the
not all of
characters that you're seeing. So like Vander's not in the game, and that's a first episode person. He's not in the game. But Vi and Jinx are. And I'm just gonna try and keep it because I don't want to. Actually, no, I don't. I feel like I can talk about character names. So Vi and Jinx are in the game. Jace is in the game. Caitlyn's in the game. Victor's in the game, but I wouldn't look into that just yet unless you want to be spoiled. And then I'm trying to think if there's anyone else. and the person from episode 7's in the game too. Very much in the game.
Okay.
Very popular character. And so there's a couple of others, but I don't want to spoil too much. So yeah, like those are the characters that are in the game, very prevalent, have been there. And I will say that I personally play a lot of Vi, and I played a lot of Jinx. Jace and Victor have never interested me that much. They were kind of cookie cutter for what they were doing. This show does wonders for their characters. But yeah, so you get a lot of characters there, but you also have some characters who are main high priority characters in this show that are not in the game and are just background and or they're in some of the external lore as well. And so it's really awesome to see that kind of breathe into life.
Is the fat kid from episode 1 in it? By the way, I know certain names. I know V. I know Jinx. I know
Vi.
V. Yeah, I didn't recognize. I don't remember the names of the two kids from episode 1.
Milo and
Otis.
Clogger. It's Milo and Clogger.
I'm guessing Clogger's the fat kid.
Yes, of course. Does it sound like a fat name? Then it's a fat kid. So that's just a little bit of a preface. But they do I will say, just from someone who's played League, they do a great job with these characters here, if not doing a better job than the lore and bringing it to life, because it's more of a prequel. Like, it's setting up the characters for where they are when you play them in the game.
I kind of want to ask, but it doesn't help. Like, because if this is a prequel, it's like, so what's the game about? Because whenever I see League of Legends, it's like, here's a map, here's your legend.
Oh, no, so check it. What you're playing, you're not getting story. All right.
I didn't even know there was a story.
So all 150 something characters in League
That's
have
why
a story.
I thought there wasn't a story, by the way.
No, they each have stories, and it's really like they do a great job with their lore handling. It's just not something that's ever at the forefront of League. And so now that they're bringing it to the forefront, and more people can see it. Y'all have a lot. Like, I could tell you from a fan of League, there's a lot on the table that can be really cool. Like, there's an entire. This is kind of not a spoiler, but there is like a place called Bilgewater, which is like it's like a pirate-based place.
That sounds awesome.
And it's the coolest locale because it has all of the champions who are like, yeah, I'm gonna look you in the eyes and then I'm gonna take your wallet like and fucking then blow you up. That's literally it. But that's getting besides the point. I was the one who pushed for, Arcane to also be included today because
you needed to pick me up.
Honestly, I watched it and I was astonished. But it's not for me to start off. JJ, what did you think?
I'm not finished with it. I'm the reason you didn't mention that character in episode 7 because I'm on episode 6. But what I've gotten through so far is really, really good. Like, I really enjoy the ride that it's taking you on, and I like that little sort of minor spoilers, but Vander's backstory and the other guy, what's his name, Silo or
Silco.
Silco, their backstory sort of gets retold with Jinx and Vi. Like, I like that little dynamic where their history repeats itself. Like, first it was Vander and Silco, and now it's Vi and
I actually didn't
Jinx.
catch that.
Oh, there's a lot of things. I'll tell you off air that are like, when you realize, you're like, damn,
yeah.
they brought this full circle. Oh. I was like, they do a good job with it. But sorry, continue. I didn't mean to stop you.
But yeah, no, I'm really eager to finish it, right, and get through the 4 whatever remaining episodes I have left, 3. But yeah, it's been a really fun ride so far. The animation's great. I love the look of it, like the sort of cel shaded kind of.
I was about to say, like, I don't think anything's done besides that. Done like this besides video game cutscenes.
No, I mean, I want to save it for the, like, really want to harp it on when we get to, like, the good. But this animation is, like, I don't, like, if you had told me beforehand how they were going to handle it, I'd be like, I don't know how they're going to do that. When seeing it in action, it is the perfect thing for what it is, right? It breathes life into things that is impossible to.
It almost looks like Leica, the stop motion movies. It kind of looks like their stuff. Like, if they ever went full Pixar and started making CG stuff, I imagine it would look kind of like this.
But sorry, Marco, what about you, man? Because you were able to get to the last 16 minutes, which, don't worry, it's not too much.
I think I saw the last 16 minutes on TikTok, and I didn't know it was the last 16 minutes, but it's the last puzzle piece.
Yeah,
to what I'm not missing.
Yeah, I think you'll be fine. But what about you? First impressions?
My first impression was like I didn't know what to expect. I thought I kept going between like, who's the audience for this? Is this for kids? Like, is this actually for kids? And by kids, I'm just old. I meant like 14 through 16 in the way that it's like, no, I know it's not.
Yeah, I was like, I feel like. Can I preface that with that? So get past the first episode. If that is your thing, if you get to the first episode and you're like,
the first episode starts with them being war refugees in a way. So I didn't exactly know, but it was just one of those things where I was like, you have to set your expectations. That's where that's where I start with animation. Like when you watch Avatar, it's like, who is this for? Well, it's for teenagers. 11 to 15 is the key demographic for that, I feel. But that means some of the jokes are going to scale like my cabbages, and that's why I was trying to gauge where it was. And then as it goes on, I was like, oh no. Like there's literally a sex scene in this show. So
Also magic.
Magic.
Magic happens during it. I mean, the moment itself is probably magical for the people involved, but
Hey, you know what? Shout out to them for representation. I got my chocolate vanilla swirl, baby.
that's one of the other things that I picked up, because you don't see a lot of colored people in fantasy in general.
Oh, dude. Thank the Lord. I was like, there's people of I have a minor gripe with, like, you know, the main cast showing for a while, and then they do me good. But yeah, like I'm seeing people from all strikes of life. In the first episode, you see trannies. Like they got transsexual individuals, but it's wild. Not to correct myself there, but like, no, they got like trans people in there. It's wild.
No, so all that is just, it's building this narrative, and then it was like, all right, once I gauged it, I don't know why I have to take a specific gauge, but I do, and it was like, all right, I'm in. Let's see where it goes. I was really surprised that it takes a time jump in episode 2, because it's like, I'm just got introduced to these people and you're going to change the setting halfway through. Oh, but it works. I see what they were doing. So it's weird that, like, overall, because you're saying this is a prequel, I'm like, so really at episode 1, it's a war before the war before the war. So it's like, it's a prequel to the prequel in a way. When it starts off with episode 1, who Vander does not exist, being a refugee from a war that's just referenced once in a while. like, yeah, it does start at a completely different point, which is probably good. Like, that actually gives credence to why Mortal Kombat started before the tournament. Like, we're gonna establish everything before it. So I'm glad that they do that, and I'm glad they gave every character a chance to get fleshed out by the time it ends, unless they die.
I didn't can't confirm or deny. I don't know, actually. I don't know what they're gonna do with this show to change things up. But are you throwing it to me?
No, I was done because it was I was like, I thought that was a somber note to be like, yep, there's death in this show.
Oh yeah, they ain't first impressions. Like I said, I went in low. Was kind of neutral. And I legitimately will tell you, I made it through all 9 episodes. I talked to my other friends who play League, and they're like best friends I've grown up with, and we all had the same opinions. Like, good God, I wanted to hate this. I want to hate what they've done, but I love it. I really, really, really like this show. I think that the presentation, and before we go into the good things, I think the presentation's phenomenal, and I think that it makes me it already kind of makes me frustrated because it is going to be caught into the, it's animation, therefore children, even though it really. I don't know. They knew, because League of Legends' real audience is 20-something-year-olds. Like, that's kind of been their, if you're in 18, 20-year-old camp, like, that's really the demographic that continues to play League. It's the moneymakers, right? It's so to see and to understand and to, like, be able to, like, see how much life they were able to build and to see that they were not holding back the budget at all is so awesome. And I think that that's the reason it worked so well, is because they were like, fuck it, give the money it deserves, give it like the time and attention it deserves, but also like, let's showcase our best things, because we can tell you from the League community, like, their cinematics and their story are just their strongest points. Most people are like, just make a League show and, you know, all the toxicity will be removed. And I think they did a good job there. So, but I can't wait to go into things I loved.
So on that note, just real quick, just aside, what is toxic about League of Legends?
Have you stepped foot into it?
No, I've literally only played in local servers, like connecting computers with 5 other computers. Yeah.
So I'll tell you that my buddy, he started playing League last year. Tried to. He was brand new to the game. You could tell. It gives you all the signs, and people were like, "Get the fuck out of here! You are garbage. You are trash." I mean, it's not uncommon for like people to just literally. I'm talking. You want to talk about Xbox lobbies being bad. League of Legends lobbies, they'll talk to you about your soul, and then it's funny because you're like, wow, these guys really don't care, and they'll report you after games. It's a toxic ass community. It's very toxic. Oh, and if you're having a bad game, because the whole thing is it's like a team game, so it requires requires all 5 people to be on the same page. And if someone's having a bad day, they can go into the game, and if you're on a ranked climb, which is like super big in League, like playing ranked, someone could literally be like, fuck it, I'm ruining the game for everybody, and just doing it. And it happens way more often than you think.
Okay.
Way more often than you think. I'm talking, it's very hard to go a day where you don't have someone who's and it's really hard not to be garbage. And then you realize that playing League is only fun sometimes because you're playing with your friends. And the game itself is tricky and can only be enjoyable occasionally. That's why it's toxic. But JJ, you input there?
I agree. I concur.
Yeah.
I think that, not to, disparage an entire genre, but I think that's kind of an issue when it comes to these team-based games, because like stuff like Overwatch is also
very
toxic.
Yeah.
The
I wanted to get into Overwatch too.
Wait for 2, which will come out never. Battlefield, there's a mode in Battlefield that's very similar, where you need a lot of coordination. It requires like everyone working together to accomplish it and actually get a win. That has the benefit of being on console as well, so you can just like not have a mic. But on PC, I've heard that that's also like a big like toxic dump in that particular mode.
Well, let's talk about some positive stuff now.
I'll let you know right now. I have very few.
Positive is
I
you
have
don't
very
have
few
to deal with the
negatives.
community if you only watch the show.
That's true. Can we actually? Yeah. Okay. I'll start off with the positives. Dude. Okay. Now I can gush. The visuals are phenomenal, dude. Like, it's like eye candy the entire time. It's almost like watching a story. It's almost like watching a storybook. And like. I don't think there's ever been anything, like you said, I don't think there's ever been anything like it. And it just burns into my head how good it is. And when they get to like, I mean, just positives, my favorite episode, visually speaking, is 7.
Same.
It's the best episode.
All right, I know what I'm doing now.
No,
It is.
When I get home.
I don't want to bite on step on his toes too much, but 7 has my favorite fight scene out of the entire series.
And it's honestly the favorite thing I've seen for a minute in animation, dude. It is that entire. How they did it, dude, it was so cool.
That it flashes back. And
It's so.
we can say it without spoiling. It flashes back and gets stylized like a Run the Jewels video
Dude,
for a second.
It's so cool. It's so cool. And I mean,
right.
I just like. So if you want to know my favorite episode, it's 7 by a long mile. From start to finish, 7 is awesome.
I like that I didn't talk to you beforehand, and I've already agreed with you on Netflix twice. That episode of Squid Games, just stop there. It's the best one.
No, I mean, like, don't stop there in this one, but 7 is the best one. But you do get so I think what I think what the piece you haven't gotten really into is when they crank up the action portions. They get stupid in the 7 and 8. Because I think 8 has an incredible fight scene as well.
I know it's probably part of the lore, but I kind of don't like the fighting style, I guess is what you can say in 8.
Oh, it with what's going on?
Like the protagonist's weapons of choice. I was like,
That's been there from day one.
no, I understand,
Okay, yeah.
but I was still like,
Yeah.
I like so.
One thing with her is that I get it. I get where you're going,
Yeah.
but it is like her thing. So I guess that's one where I was like, because I actually like the way that they handled that fighting the entire time. It is a thing in the story, so I
get where it comes
Yeah.
from, but it after having 7, which is this hyper stylized, like everything about this is perfect, and then it's like,
I mean, it's hard for them. It's really hard for them to go like.
this is what I was just saying the other one. So we get this really stiff choreography in Cowboy Bebop that's like block, punch, block.
Oh, this one's fluid and smooth, and the people can. Because guess what? It's animated. They can move in ways that are probably not possible for the human body.
It's totally possible. They can hire a stunt person.
They can. I know.
Yeah.
They don't do anything too wild, and I'll actually get to why 7's even better after the show for you.
Yeah.
Because if you look into the character, it's actually even cooler. But but yeah, outside of that, the story itself. This is not a spoiler, but this is a hint into my future. Like, I do have issues on the story occasionally, but I think that overall, the villain is awesome. I think Silco is incredible because I love nuance in villains where, I mean, to be honest, at his core, he's very similar to Venom. He's just like, yo, like, I'm still, like, it's not that he's not for his people.
Yeah.
At all. It's not that. He's just like, hey, how we got to do this is different, and our approaches are different, right? Like, I ain't gonna kiss the feet of nobody. And oh man, they took one episode to make me fall in love with like Vander, and I was like, dude, off the rip, I'm like, this is an incredible character. The characterization is super, super strong. I mean, I really, like I'm saying, I think I have too many positives almost, because I was just blown away in a lot of categories of things I was not expecting. And I do think that I'm trying to think like what my favorite like act. I think Act 3 is great. I think it closes out really strong. And then I think honestly think it just continues to build. I think Act 2's probably story-wise the strongest, but I think that visually and just what they're trying to achieve, I really, really like what they did. But I'm going to get off my box. And JJ, what about you? What's been a standout for you?
The visuals, definitely. But also the story. Like, I'm really digging this whole lore background stuff that's going on. Granted, I don't know where it's going. Like, because
I don't know where it's going.
Yeah, so I'd probably enjoy it even more if I did. So
I don't. Well, and I was about to say, like, usually that kind of hurts it, but TJ's all crazy about it, so obviously it helps.
Because they're changing enough.
Yeah.
Well, all right, cool. But yeah, no. The writing's really, really solid on this, and so is like. I'm not gonna harp on the animation more than you did, but like it's really pretty to look at. Like
it's hard not to, dude. It's like it's really pretty.
The one thing I will say is I'm not a huge fan of the Imagination Dragons.
So
We haven't gotten to the negatives.
Kirby asked real quick, do you guys think Silco is one of the most gangster bad guys ever, especially after what he does in episode 7? So I think that's specifically for you. I'll let you answer that one.
For Silco, in episode 7, I'm trying to think. I do think he's a gangster. Yeah, I do think he's a complete gangster, to be honest. I thought
the scene later where he negotiates stuff, where I was like, "That's
that's what I said." Like when he walked, like there's one time where he's like, "This is just air, baby." Like y'all forgot. y'all don't forgot. Now I think Silco's a badass. Like
yeah.
I like villains who I don't need like this like hulking or super strong or like I'm the one who has to fight all the time villain. He just walks into a room and you're like, I forgot that. That guy right there. You don't want to touch that man right there. And there's something he says in a later scene where you're like, damn, and you know that he's really about it. Like, you know he's really about what he's representing. Mm-hmm. And I think that really elevates him. So, yeah, dude, fuck yeah. Like, he's awesome. What about you, Marco?
No, I have the same best favorite part. It's 7. It's that fight scene. It plays over in my mind.
I rewatched it like 5 times. Like, I was like, how did you...
I'm going to watch it at the gym tomorrow before I deadlift.
Bro, I deadass was like, if I had this shit, like, this gets me pumped up. Like, I didn't know what to do because I watched it. So the thing was, I was enveloped in, I had my vitamins earlier in the day.
Yeah.
And I was enjoying my organic materials. So when this hit, the visuals hit, I was like, oh my Lord, right? Nah, jokes aside, it's phenomenal.
Yeah, for sure.
But yeah, no, I mean, anything else you wanted to add in? Sorry.
I think we guys covered everything. I'm going to start off worst parts by just saying I hate the other kid, the not Clogger. And I know that's a really weird gripe, but still, I hate everything about that kid.
Milo?
Yeah.
he wasn't there for that long.
Which is which full circle. Now we're back in my favorite parts when he died.
But you know, right now,
he's coming back.
They got no, bro. It did a time skip. Did they come back? No, them niggas are dead. They got fucked up. Yeah.
Chad's yelling at me too. It's like it's fucking Milo.
Go ahead. But,
no, I just like because he was unnecessarily bratty. Like,
I mean,
obviously you need someone like that, but usually that character sticks around and it's like,
he has a redemption arc.
He has a redemption, or he gets owned by the person that is going to the Sith. In this, he just kind of like, oh, he's dead.
He got washed for no reason. Any other negatives?
I think JJ's already started the trend towards it. The soundtrack is lacking sometimes.
Man, I
mean, I just saw episode 6, or maybe it was episode 5. I don't know, but I purposely skipped the intro for this, right? Not to,
My enemy. You don't like that? Come on.
Imagination Dragons had one good song, and they've been replaying it ever since.
So if you don't know, League of Legends and Imagine Dragons go hand in hand like
Are you
peanut butter
serious?
and jelly. I'm not even kidding you. I'm not kidding you. The shit, they like the Imagine Dragons a lot.
Right. And
So
I
don't
skipped
worry.
the intro. And then in the middle of episode 6 or whatever, not only do they replay the song, they fucking show up like they're a cameo. Like,
Yeah, baby. You don't love that?
no, not a fan.
There's a scene in episode 3 at the end between V and Powder. How do you guys handle that if that was your younger brother? Oh, wow. Oh, it's the scene. Mild spoiler. Powder killed her dad, basically.
I would have had it in the same fucking way. Dumb. That would have been like, yeah, if that was your little brother, shit, I'm slapping the shit out this dude. I'm like, granted, me, we're close in age, so it's not like he's a baby or something. But
What is the age difference between V and Powder?
I don't know. Vi, stop.
At least I'm not calling it Dota anymore.
I'm trying to think. Actually, I don't think they really go into depth on ages too much. I really don't know. But it's close enough to where they seemed like, maybe like 3-ish years, something like that. That felt like enough.
Me and my brother are about 4. So.
Yeah, it felt like that dynamic. Yeah, that scene the entire time I was like, are we supposed to come out and feel sorry for that? No, you fucked it up.
So the chat knows it's about 3 or 4 years, which makes sense. I was just like, there's a big height difference from them for a while.
But I mean, yeah.
Yeah, no, it makes sense. Yeah.
Fun fact, my brother's taller than me now.
But just to rip off this Band-Aid, Imagine Dragons, sir, you're not my favorite pick.
Right.
Not my personal pick, but don't worry.
Nickelback's in season 2.
It's you too, actually.
They better be singing sea shanties.
I will give a little bit of a positive to the soundtrack because I think that anything that's not Imagine Dragons, there's this one from the first episode where like when they're going down the elevator and it's like a woman singing, and I'm like, I just rewatched that episode because I'm showing Michaela right now, and I was like, that shit's kind of fuego. That shit's really fuego. And then episode 7 has the best songs in this entire show. Twice they have two, because how it opens.
Yeah.
And then fuck yeah, that yeah, it has the best songs it has the best songs. But I guess my other negative is that there it does play into tropes sometimes, and that can be a little irritating, but not enough to derate, like pull me away from the show. More so to where I'm like, all right, y'all guys gotta do a little more here. And then
I think that might be due to the source material, because the characters have to fit into an archetype in this type of game. So
I mean, I would say on that note, some of the side characters are kind of like, but I think they're supposed to be a little
I
I
think
like the Fishman.
there's some like that haven't really gotten their shine. Just my bad, I missed a big one, Heimerdinger's one. I like Heimerdinger, but they haven't really done much with him just yet. But to be honest, yeah, like when Imagine Dragons is your worst trait for me,
Yeah, no,
that's a win.
I don't even hate the Imagine Dragons. It's just it's too much, man, bro.
I'm with you, dude. When that song, dude,
Kirby has a good point. This would be fun to watch on a IMAX screen. It actually would.
no, dude, I would love to see this in theaters, as dude, please just give me episode 7 in theaters. I'll go see it for a second. But JJ, I'm sorry. We took over your music topic, but anything else that was a negative for you?
Not yet. Nothing glaring. Imagine Dragons was really the big one that was kind of like sticking out to me.
JJ was like, man, I'm loving this episode. Praise the enemy. My enemy. JJ was just mad.
Just lower the volume slowly.
But yeah, I can I'll kick us off in ratings if you
Yeah, go for it.
This is a 10 out of 10. To be honest, I now sitting here, and I don't give those ever, actually. When was the last one I gave a 10 out of 10? I don't remember.
Did you give a 10 out of 10?
Squid Game, I think. Maybe.
We never reviewed Squid Games.
Yeah, we did.
Oh.
You weren't there, remember?
I wasn't there.
Yeah, we did. And I think I gave that a 9, maybe. 9 or 9.5.
Did you give it to Judas or...
Oh, yeah, probably Judas. I think I gave it to Judas and One Night in Miami. But yeah, this is a 10 out of 10. I literally, as I just said, when Imagine Dragons is your worst trait, you're doing fine. And the fact that it got me, who genuinely was reluctant to watch the show, it took someone being like, dude, for reals, give it a shot.
I think you're the only reason I watched this show.
And yeah, it takes people being like, dude, give it a shot. I know it's not in your camp normally, but it's really good. And that was like after the first 3 episodes, someone told me that, and I was like, all right, I'll do it whenever I get back from vacation. And I watched it like this, and then I advocated for it to be on the show because I found it so compelling. I think they made me give a shit about characters I never gave a shit about. It elevates League's story in a lot of different ways, and it only boosts my excitement for the fighting game they're making. Because that's
making a fighting game out of this.
Oh well, not out of this. They're making a fighting game out of League characters already.
That sounds cool.
And
Making an MMO.
That's why I was kind of confused about. So this is about League of Legends, top level thing, and I'm like, and all I'm seeing is really cool hand-to-hand combat. I was like,
so they're making a fight. So League of Legends does have a bunch of different avenues now, right? And all this gets me excited for is a spoiler alert. Season 2's been announced, so yes, there will be more. But I want to see. So can I? I'll fantasize after.
Go for it.
No, I'll fantasize after y'all guys give your ratings. But I'll tell you what I want from a season 2.
Well, Kirby's asking. I feel like this is a good point to ask it. Is this one of the highest rating you'd give the first season of an animation?
Yeah. Oh, easy. I don't. It's very rare I give a 10 out of 10 to a first season. It's very rare I give a 10 out of 10 period.
I think the only thing that compares,
only other,
because usually first seasons are bad, even in animation. So I think the only one that compares is Gravity Falls.
like if I'm thinking
Maybe Rick and Morty.
if I'm thinking about anime in general, One Punch Man is amazing first season.
Yeah, that's true.
I would put anime in a different category because they only get one season sometimes.
That's true. Okay,
Because that's like saying Cowboy Bebop is great, and it's like there's only one.
that doesn't count, right? Okay.
Yeah.
If we're talking about just animation, oh, dude, you want to talk about a first season 10 out of 10? Come back to me with that. That's how little I give them out. And the last animated thing I give a 10 out of 10 to might have been Into the Spider-Verse, but that's not. Don't hold the gun to my. Oh no, JJK. I gave JJK a 10 out of 10. I love JJK, but that's an anime. That's not even animation. Fuck it. Animation is Into the Spider-Verse, but I'll gush on what I hope for season 2 to be, and maybe get y'all's excitement up a little bit more. Then, JJ, with your 6 episodes, where you landed, buddy?
I'm gonna land on a 9 because I haven't just a 9 because I haven't finished it. So. But, yeah, what I've seen so far is really, really good. I'm really digging this. To answer his... No, that's an anime too. Damn it, yeah. Because I would say Demon Slayer Season 1 solid, bro. Like, what?
Anime's a little different.
But, yeah. Yeah, I can't think of... Well, it's because there... For one thing, a show like this, right, and a serialized anime... or animation like action show is really rare stateside. Like that's why me and TJ are kind of going like anime. Yes, of course.
Listen, we have plenty over here.
Is it better than Avatar Season 1?
Yes.
Yeah.
I think it's more.
I forgot how many seasons Avatar was, but it does start
3.
slow. It took me a while to get into it.
I don't get twisted. I love Avatar: The Last Airbender.
I think I kind of didn't care until I met Toph. Like, it's just aligns the better stories happen about that arc, but it was just before I was like, nothing of this is you were missing Toph the entire time.
And I also still think that this is made for a bit more of a mature audience, so I can probably resonate with it a little bit more at my current mindset. Avatar has a lot of nostalgia. Also, side note, shoot, I was damn, I blanked. I was about to mention something off of what you said, but go ahead, Marcus. I think I'll remember it.
So the only I'm gonna give it probably the lowest ranking as an 8.5, but it's really good. I just think that it's gonna get better. Like, I can kind of already.
You can't fault it for that.
No. Well, I music's really important to me. I feel like some of the characters are also at times kind of like.
I already know season 2 is going to be worse because we're going to get more imagination dragons.
Oh, that's definitely going to be the case. Just so you know, more IDs are coming.
BoJack Horseman season 1, so that would count that. But the issue, by that is because this kind of compares unfairly to Game of Thrones in a way where it's like everything is building to more action. Like, the reason Game of Thrones season 3 is like the all-star or the third book is because all the action was building to the action that you get in the third season. And that's why I'm faulting it a little bit. It's because I need to see the rest of it play out. I thought I missed something, and then I just read like on Wikipedia like what the last sentence was, and I was like, no, I actually saw that scene.
Yeah, no.
And I'm like, oh, okay, so we're just getting more. And that's why I'm like, this just... The drums are still coming up. Like, the bass line is still hitting. Like, this is still building to more story. And that's why it's an 8.5. It's not that it's bad. It's that I know there's more coming. Like, I need to see how it plays out. You left me hanging in the middle of a story.
So would this elevate depending on how a season 2 would play out?
Yes, it would elevate. It's just that they're connected. The first 3 seasons of Game of Thrones are connected. That's why they're solid, like, great. The reason everyone stopped watching Game of Thrones is the last 3 seasons of Game of Thrones are connected.
I guess that's tricky because I'm like, and it's just and totally valid in terms of your justification too.
Yeah.
Like because I have no issues with the 8.5. I guess I'm just a little more like I try and keep it like treat everything like it's not getting a season 2, and then I'm like, even though it clearly.
This clearly ends with it.
Yeah, this one is like, hey.
It literally... to be continued is at the...
fucking JoJo came in, like, with a roundabout started playing, bro. But let me see if I can generate a little bit of hype in some other things and other areas that I hope that they dive into. I definitely want them to. So I'm trying to think where you're at, if they've introduced this character.
Which, describe them vaguely.
Counselor family.
Counselor family? The counselor has been...
no, the counselor's there.
Yeah.
But family.
I don't know about the family being there.
Yeah, I don't know either. Actually, this one's not too big of a spoiler.
But Caitlyn's mom and...
No. That one's been approved out already. But so I'll give a description on the regions of like the major regions of League of Legends, and so hopefully it'll kind of paint a bigger picture. And you honestly, I'd like to hear like what region would excite you the most. So starting off with Piltover and Zon, right? That's like, so their whole thing has always been technology and this dichotomy of. That map's not gonna help. Don't worry about it. You don't need a map. Don't worry about it.
I tried.
No map's gonna help you. And also want you to go in blind. But Piltover and Zon, that kind of dichotomy between rich and not rich, and then the Hex Tech and technology, like their whole thing has always been technological advancement and then chemicals and experimentation to the maximum. Then you have some different other areas. You have Ionia, which is whatever you're thinking about Asian and spiritual shit, that's there. So they got the shadow ninjas, all that type of shit over there. They got samurai fights. They got a lot of spirits. Like one of the most popular characters in the game, Ari. the fox spirit lady chick, like the Nine-Tails Fox lady, she's from there. So when you're thinking the mystical and the more Eastern style art design, that's coming from Ionia. You have Bilgewater, which is the pirate place where you got like the scummy, the grimy, the fucking one of the names of the characters is Gangplank. He's from there, dude.
That's an awesome name.
He's an awesome character. And so when you're thinking about like Twisted Fates from there, all these really cool characters that play a little into magic, but they're mainly there for like, hey, we're here for money, and whatever you're thinking in stereotypical pirate shit comes from there. And then you do have the Freljord, which is, I don't know, winter death, cold, Game of Thrones shit, trolls, and like I'm talking, that place sucks. Like they have a god bear over there, some trolls, and like kingdoms that are fighting, and it's actually a bunch of different scattered tribes that always fight, and then one like sort of centralized kingdom is trying to bring them together so they can become like a sort of united front as the Freljord. But there's two major factions over there, and then you have spooky land that I'm keeping like the Howling Mist, or I forgot, I'm blanking on the name.
Sir Warwick's yelling like he's yelled Big Mama. I don't know who that is. But when he was describing all that winter stuff, he was like, Viking shit.
Yeah, Viking shit. It's literally Viking shit. And then they have this last other place that I want to describe, and I literally just blanked on the name when I was thinking about it. There's one other place, but where Pantheon comes from. Gods worshiping shit. Actually, Pantheon's a cool character. He's someone who his body was taken over by a god, and then he was like, fuck this, and he uses the god's weapon and starts killing all the other gods. And then you have the Howling...
Kratos?
Then you have the Howling, like whatever you're thinking about stereotypical, like Spartan dude.
Kratos. I'm just thinking Kratos.
Not the God of War, but like he's pissed off like him. Yeah, basically. And then you have... Basically, I'm talking like... it's like this green, mystical area where... all the spooky shit comes from. And so you have Thresh, which is this basically this underworld dude who'll take you there and hold your soul. There's the Sentinels who fight them. And then they have a lot of like, the grave robbers, the people who are like, hey, we fuck with death a lot. And spiritual death, like you come here, you will not come back, we'll take your soul type of shit. That's where these people lie. And then, oh my God, the one that they hinted to in the show, and they've already done it, so I don't mind spoiling it, is Noxus, which is straight Imperial, war, killing, that's it. The person who's most akin to Dante from Devil May Cry comes from that region, to put in perspective. Like, it's nothing but, like... They are like the people who are big, like whereas Piltover is big on technology, Noxus is big on like, just like, hey, we have iron, we have battleships, we are war dominant, all we do is fight to survive, and gladiator rings. And so, yeah, that's all the different regions. And you see how many regions I mentioned?
Yeah.
Notice how we've only been in one.
Well, I want to see pirate people, but that's just me.
I want to see the sexy fox lady.
Yeah, search up Ari.
I actually did already look her up, but yeah.
No,
I was looking up all these things as you were telling me because I was like, I want to have some
visuals, yeah,
like some visuals of what I'm seeing, just because I didn't know. So she reminds me of Love, Sex, and Robots when they hunt the fox spirits. Yeah, that's what she reminds me of.
Neat.
So, like, she's one of those, as you can tell, one of the most popular characters in the game. But I know I'm missing some areas.
That's
like
cool cosplay.
Like Mount Tigran is one that I just literally didn't describe too much. But now they have, so that's what excites me. I don't know. I know they're going to still maintain a lot of the Piltover stuff. But there are a lot of things that they kind of tip their toes into that I haven't explored yet. And there's a lot of things like let's say it's not contained into Arcane itself, right? Mm-hmm. But they can definitely bring in a lot of these other factions that all have different interactions.
Well, what Netflix also does a lot is they do spin-offs. And it's like, kind of like The Walking Dead has the other show that's just set in the West Coast. It would not be impossible to think of, like, here is another show just set in a different region.
Oh, 100%. Like, to be honest, the ones that wouldn't fit, I think they'll do that there.
Warwick's mad at you. He's like, you forgot kind of Egypt.
Oh, Sarima. Oh my God. Yeah. You're right. There is kind of Egypt, more gods, Egyptian gods, Nasus, the dog god, all that kind of stuff. It's really cool. And I mean, I'm literally like, I'm holding back a lot because there's so much cool lore to it, and I'm a nerd for it because it's the best part of the
I actually
league.
didn't know it was this big that they were like, because you've already talked about 7 different regions, and this story was so well contained where it's like people that live above and people that live down, and the mutants that live down below.
There are people who, if they came in, fuck a war, they'd wipe the entire country off the map. They just choose not to.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, they got their own shit they're dealing with. But personally speaking, I'm with you. Give me some pirates and then give me some sexy fox ladies. I think that I know that they're going to bring in Noxus, so I think that's one that they're probably going to explore. And there's some really cool characters coming over there.
Noxus translates the easiest with the setting they already have.
Yes.
It's not the weirdest thing to go to Japan or where the fox lady is, but the other ones are kind of like a weird, completely different setting.
It's very like. So I think here was exploring like, you know, how technology and magic can come. They really haven't dove into just the straight magic side.
Yeah.
And a lot of those areas are more of the straight magic side.
I was about to say they're still talking about like does magic exist or not throughout this show.
They're saying it does. You just have to be because one thing they established like
Should we use magic? That's
should we
what it was.
use
I'm
magic
sorry.
via technology because the arcane arts are usually born to people.
Yeah. I remember that, but just described it poorly. But yeah.
But yeah, I geeked out just to like be like, yeah, there's so much they can explore. So you guys are in for so much of a treat.
No, yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Wherever they choose to go, I hope this show runs for at least 6 seasons because it sounds like they have a lot of ground to cover.
I really want them to just. I would actually. It's tricky because I just don't want them to have to pin all their hats on Piltover and not let people get to see some of the characters that they really want to see too. So we'll see how it goes. But thanks for letting me geek out and nerd out for like 10 minutes.
Well, I mean, on the other foot, just to see, because Sam's like, hey, you guys need to make up more content. We have a request from the chat to review The Harder They Fall, which is a black cowboy movie.
Oh, I was curious about that one. Yeah,
We can watch it.
It wouldn't be that.
We have to watch shit.
I mean, it won't take long because we have the new format now. And I mean, the only thing missing is Tommy yelling for 10 minutes.
I think he wouldn't have yelled today.
he would have yelled at Bebop.
He would have yelled at Bebop.
True.
We can make you yell, but just saying like, and then the live action adaptation of Arcane comes into play.
No, don't do that to me. There doesn't need to be one. It's so good to stop.
Where have I heard this before?
We're living in the alternate timeline. No, I'm kidding.
All right, guys. Thanks for coming in tonight. That was our review of Arcane and of Cowboy Bebop and of the Manscaped stuff. I think we might do something Saturday. Follow our Instagram. But yeah, thanks for coming out, and I hope you all have a wonderful night. Bye.
Later.
Bye.